What's up, everybody? Welcome to Thriving Thursday. Today's gonna be a good one. We're gonna be talking about spotting the good, attracting positivity instead of negativity. And there's a lot of different nuances, and that means a lot of things. It's very open, right? But we're gonna talk specifically about what are some things that you can do to make sure that when things happen to you, it's not just something bad or something good. It's just a thing that happens to you, and how you respond to it, what emotions come up for you, that's what it will be. It doesn't have to be necessarily something bad or something good. It's just something that happens in life. And how can we start identifying the positives and presenting everything as an added value to make sure that when you look at everything, you're not overwhelmed. You see it as an opportunity. Okay. So let me go ahead and hit the screen, presenter view. Can you guys hear me okay? All right. Someone give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. I'm not seeing the, hold on 1 second. Let me get this going. Beautiful. So share screen. I forgot to share screen. Share screen. Cool. Oh, no, I'm sharing the wrong screen. I've been doing this for long enough. You think I'd know how to do it better. Stop sharing. All right. Can you guys see the slides? Someone give me a thumbs up. All right. Beautiful. All right. So let's kick it off. Spotting the good, attracting positivity instead of negativity. Table of contents. We'll go over the intro, the power of positivity, negativity, bias, rewiring our brains, how we can cultivate a positive mindset, why your environment matters, and why you have to make sure you choose a positive environment for you. Celebrating small victories, being able to see challenges as opportunities, and spreading positivity, maintaining positivity, homework, building a positive routine, and overall, we're going to go over how to make sure we are not annoying the world with our positivity, because who cares about the world and what they think about us, right? Power of positivity. Positivity is more than a feeling, it's a choice. A choice to focus on the good, even when trained to anticipate the worst. For the longest, we have just been trained and we think of this mentality of the worst is going to happen and we have to prepare for it. Now, there's nothing wrong with preparing for situations, but when your mentality is always in this mentality of fighting wars and thinking of enemy being around the corner all the time, it's very hard for you to give yourself a little bit of space to look for peace in life, to look for that positivity. So it's important to understand that even though in the past we've been used to seeing things a certain way, we do have to rewire our brains to start looking at things from a different perspective, because everything that happens in your life, you have to look at it as an added value in one way or another. How can we do that? So let's unravel how we can shift our vigilant minds to become powerful tools for identifying and embracing positives in life. So we have this negativity bias. Our brains have been wired this way for the longest. Our brains tend to prioritize negative experiences, a survival tactic reinforced in the military. However, now that we are in civilian life, and we do have to truly understand that we are in civilian life, this can lead to a skewed perception of the world. Now, for my civilians in the group, past trauma, past experiences, anything that you've been through is very much relatable to what we went through in the military in one way, shape, or form. Because at the end of the day, traumatic experiences do shape us. Now, the same way that past relationships in your life might have shaped you, the military was a past relationship for us. A lot of positives, but also a lot of negatives that unfortunately we have to work very diligently to start limiting the effect that they have on us now. We have to work on recognizing and acknowledging those negative thoughts. And we have to work on making sure that we don't let those thoughts define our reality. We have to consciously redirect our focus to positive events and experiences. We do a great job of thinking of all the bad things that has happened to us in our lives. We can list off the 4 or 5 traumatic events in our lives that really defined us negatively, but we don't do a great job of remembering what the positives are. And we have to do that because when we want to build confidence instead of feeling lost, we have to identify the positives. We have to identify what is something positive that happened in my life that is pushing me forward, right? I'm going to ask for a break here. So, what I'm going to have you guys do is I want you guys to list 5 big positive things in your life that has happened to you. Work very hard to think of something in your life that has happened that was transformative for you. So, list 5 things. They don't have to be large, they have to be small. 5 things that happened in your life that were very positive, that were very transformative to you. For example, for me, number one of them is having my son and my daughter, right? To me, I list that as an event because it's having children, right? Another one would be graduating from sniper school. Yeah, another one would be getting out of the military and leaving the military and creating the life that I wanted for myself, right? So just think of 5 positive things that happened to you. I'll be right back while you write those down, okay? We're going to do 3 minutes. All right, and we are back. Sorry for the delay. All right, so now that we have those 5 positive things, we have to think about what came from those positive things. What did you take away from them? Because the lessons that you took away from them, they might have been very transformative then, but we need to look at them now. Because at the end of the day, recognizing and acknowledging that even though there's negative things in life, these positive things, they are the proof that you're able to accomplish more in life that maybe others or maybe you thought you were capable of. And it is about balance. You have to understand, like, there is that natural inclination for vigilance. However, when we start looking at things from a different point of view, that negative thing that happens to you, you can present it differently to your brain. You can realize that it is not something necessarily negative. There's a lot of different examples, right? So running late to work and you think your boss is going to ream you, or maybe you always get this phone call from this friend who always wants to drink, and you always go out and you know that it's going to be a long night and you're going to drink a lot of alcohol. And then tomorrow morning, you're going to wake up and you're not going to really like yourself anymore. It's not negative if you learn to say no. There's power in saying no. There's power in learning the lesson of being late today. So tomorrow you apply different changes to make sure that this doesn't happen anymore. It's not about winning or failing. It's about winning and learning, because when you don't necessarily get the results you want, it's actually a good thing. Failure is a much better teacher than success, because sometimes when you succeed, you don't necessarily know what you did right. But when you do something wrong and you fail, that lesson will be ingrained in you for a very long time. So think back to your 5 positive things that happened in your life and think back to what it was that helped you succeed in life. What it was that you did that made you successful in that situation. Now, having children, that could be looked at a little bit differently, right? To you, that might be that, you really had no part of it and you just did the thing and you had the children. But no, it transformed you. It changed you. Honestly, one of the most transformative experiences for me is when I had children, right? So moving on here, cultivating a positive mindset. Every single day, you should start it with a positive affirmation or gratitude exercise. However, building confidence isn't just about yelling affirmations in the mirror. It's about having an undeniable stack of evidence and proof behind you that you say you do the things that you are going to do. And when you start doing them, when you follow through with them, you have to start keeping record of these wins. Now, whether that's in your journal or just doing a mental note of it or starting to remind yourself, when your mind starts to go negative, remind yourself that you have proof. You did the workout yesterday. You joined this program. You made a commitment to yourself. You've been doing the meal preps. You've renewed in this program. You've been going to the gym consistently. You started doing the meal prep. All of these little things, they're wins. So when you have that negative mental moment and you're running late, or you're telling yourself, like, I don't want to go to the gym today because you know what? I'm just a fat piece of shit and it's just not going to change for me. Like, you have to right there have that mental break and change the narrative. Change the narrative of how you speak to yourself. You have to be mindful. You have to be present in the moment. It can help you actually appreciate the small joys in life and reduce the impact of negative thinking in yourself. Because it's not about seeing things from a positive point of view only. It's not about the silver lining. Because when you think of it as a silver lining, you're still thinking that there's all this negativity with a little bit of positive. No, I'm telling you, it's all positive. I'm telling you, whatever happens in life, you can find a way to create a positive from it entirely. Put it to you this way. The worst situation in your life, right? Someone that you love dies. There's no way to flip that around, right? Or is there? Can you appreciate the life that they lived? Can you appreciate the moments that you had together? Can you appreciate their life right now and know that you deciding to live a mindful life and start doing something about your life now more than likely will influence their life? They may live a longer life. They may live a healthier life because of the decisions you're making right now. So because we can appreciate every situation in life, no matter what it is, something positive can come from it. There is nothing that bad happens to you unless you treat it as such. You have to be able to see it that way. Environment matters. Choose positivity. Your environment significantly influences your mindset. You need to work hard to surround yourself with positive people and uplifting media. What I mean by that is stay away from all of the social media groups and all the stuff that brings you down, because it's nothing but dark humor. It's nothing but negativity. It's nothing but shit talking. It's nothing but just negative, pessimistic, just moaning and complaining and shaming and just groaning. Because it might give you a hit of dopamine right there and then. You might feel good for a moment. You might get a laugh out of it. But deep down inside, it's detrimental to you. Because when you see things, when you see stuff consistently, it becomes the norm for you. It becomes normal. And the same way that in the military, we saw life one way and it made us jaded. and it made us egotistical and it made us judgmental, that became the norm. When we got out, we had trouble acclimating to the new society that we were part of. Don't get me wrong. There are countless positives from being in the military. You can leverage all your skill sets that you took from the military to create a good life for yourself. But when you don't address the baggage, when you don't address the ego, when you don't address the negative freaking culture that sometimes we bring with us, the dark humor, it's very hard to change not just the way that you see life, but the way that people see you, because that's what you put out into the world. You have to create a personal space that reflects positivity. This could be as simple as keeping your living space tidy or decorating with items that bring you joy. Cluttering your house, cluttering your car is going to create clutter in your mind. People do perceive you a certain way, and it's not about not caring about what people think about you. It's that if you want to create a positive life around yourself, you should work very hard to make sure that everything you do congruently is moving towards creating that life for yourself. We don't want to just do certain things in life and then still allow the negatives into our lives. We don't want to have just order in an area of our life, but the rest of our life is in chaos. We want to make sure that every area of our life is taken care of. Because at the end of the day, the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. Be selective with your friends. Be selective with your family. I have family I haven't talked to in years because they don't understand why I am how I am. And you know what? It is not my responsibility to explain it to them. Unfollow accounts that don't serve you. Like, take away the negativity from your life. Make it like a daily discipline for you that you ensure that if you know that the alcohol brings you down in life, don't have it in your fridge. If you know that driving past that gas station is going to want you to go inside and get a vape or get some cigarettes, take another route. I used to drive and I used to take the streets home instead of the highway because I knew that there was 2 McDonald's on the way home and one of them had the ice cream machine that actually worked. And I used to weigh 230 pounds back then. It was my way of life. That's all I knew. It was my norm. And then life changed for me. I crashed my car going 80 down the highway, almost died. And then I realized something needs to change. A lot of things need to change. When you have more positive in your life, when you have more things that bring you beneficial things in your life, you do feel inspired. You start to find that devotion. You don't create happiness by allowing negative people or negative situations to bring you down. And when something negative happens, it may not be your fault, but it is your responsibility. Which means that if there are people in your life that are bringing you down, you can have a conversation with them. And if that doesn't work, then you can make the decision to limit your exposure to them. And if for some reason that doesn't work, you can make the conscious decision that what they say, what they do will not influence you. Because everything that comes into your life, your sphere, your area, you are responsible for. The same way that in the past, we've all allowed negative people, negative situations, our own negative tendencies to be present in our present because that's what we used to do. We were responsible for ourselves back then. We can change the narrative and start being much more responsible now by making sure that the way that our kids see us and the way that our kids listen to us and the way that our wife sees us is positive because you work very hard. You need to protect your space in your mind because it's not about faking the funk. It's about doing the things that you know that you need to do because eventually the byproduct of that will be success. The goal is not losing 10 pounds. The goal is I will make it to the gym every day this week that I'm supposed to. The goal is I will meal prep on Sunday to make sure that I have all my meals ready for the week. Byproduct of that will be that you achieve the long-term goal. But when your goal is like, I will lose 10 pounds, well, how do you do that? What does that look like? Does that look like trying to work more often? Does that look like missing the gym less often? Those are not concrete goals. You can't really imagine what the positive that you're bringing to your life is. You're just trying to be a little less negative, but I want you guys to be much more positive by establishing hard lines in the sand of what you will and what you won't do. Protect yourselves as much as you can in every way you can. Celebrate the small victories. Acknowledge and celebrate your achievements, no matter how small. This reinforces a positive self-image and motivates further progress. Always, always, always celebrate your wins. You can come in the Savage Chat. You can do a post in the group. By the way, I'm asking as a favor. I want everybody to start making a habit of going into the Facebook group and replying and commenting on people who post stuff in the group. I know that we do a great job of being active in the chat all day, and I love it. I love it because we're staying consistent. We remember why we're doing this. But I don't like seeing somebody posting a picture in the Savage Facebook group and nobody commenting on it because they went out of the way to do it. And I want you guys to just get used to doing it there too, because that's a larger place where we can post more longer information. I post a lot of stuff in there too. I want to make sure you guys see it. All right. Share your successes with friends or family. This not only spreads positivity, but also strengthens your support network. If people have seen you as a negative person for the longest, freaking shock them. And it's not your fault. It's not your responsibility to change their mind about you. Like, change their mind about you by being different. You don't have to prove to them anything, but you can share what you're doing to give them the proof in the pudding that you're actually making changes in your life. People won't realize that you're changing until they see it. And if they see it, then great. And if they don't, that's fine too. Because you know what? You're doing this for you. Challenges, opportunities. It's not overwhelm. It's opportunity. You should view obstacles as opportunities for growth. Each challenge is a chance to learn, adapt, and become stronger. Reflect on past difficulties and recognize how they've shaped you positively. This helps you in developing resilience and a proactive mindset. Embrace change. There's an E missing. Life is dynamic, and flexibility in the face of change can lead to unexpected and rewarding paths. This right here is basically telling you that everything that's happened to you in the past, you can actually position differently. So you can actually influence not only the future, but you can influence the past. Because at the end of the day, every single thing that you've been through, if you feel like it was a failure, you can actually change that by understanding the lessons that you took away from it, applying them to your now, making sure that your future is different. And then therefore, it wasn't a failure. It wasn't a loss. It wasn't a negative story if you take something positive out of it. And it's over with. It's done. It doesn't affect you anymore. All it can do is change the way that you see it. That way, you know that something positive did come out of it. And it's very important to think of it that way. Spread positivity. Your positive attitude can inspire those around you. Be the person who lifts others up, not the one who brings them down. Share positive stories and experiences. This not only uplifts others, but reinforces your own positive perspective. This right here is about being willing to spread good news. Like, there's nothing wrong with spreading good news. It's not about gloating. It's not about being cocky. It's about being confident and spreading good news. And that might be as simple as saying hello to someone or complimenting someone or being able to take note that someone was able to do more than they normally could. Because that little seed, that compliment, it can grow into something much larger, not just for that person, but for you as well, because it becomes a habit for you, right? Focus on avoiding the negative stories. Stop telling all the negative BS that happens to you and telling it over and over again, because you know what? It doesn't get better. You're not changing anything by telling the story over and over again. In fact, it actually starts to envelop you. Like, this is a place and time in the Savage Squad and the Facebook group to be vulnerable and share the negative things that happen to you, but make sure you position them as understanding what you learn from it. And it impacts both you and the listener as well, because when you start to tell the negative stuff, the same way that when you get a phone call and you know it's going to be your girlfriend, Brittany, or Yolanda, or whoever, that all she ever does is tell you how much she hates her husband, or you get a phone call from freaking Eddie, and Eddie, all he ever does is complain about how much he hates his job, but they never do anything about it. They are just venting because they want to pass it off to you, because in their mind, it makes them feel better. But that's not fair to you or to them, because they're never going to change and you're going to start to feel it. And we don't want that. We want positivity to be spread, not negativity. Keep a positivity log. Make sure you guys reflect on your journey by journaling about it, by talking about what is good and what's happening for you. When you are faced with negativity, remind yourself of your journey and the progress you've made. Like we talked about, make sure you take note of all the positive stuff you've done in your life. It's okay to have off days. When you have those off days, when you, for some reason, aren't feeling it, sometimes you have to just go through the motions and make sure you get your non-negotiables done. I wasn't feeling it today. I didn't want to go to the gym. I didn't want to go to the gym. I took a nap. My shot clock said, get up. I got up. I got dressed. I went to the gym, and I partially went through the motions. I did my workout, and this is the exception because this isn't the rule. Typically, I go to the gym with a lot of intention, and I freaking tear it up, and I love it. But today was just one of those days where I wasn't feeling 100%, and that's all right. It doesn't mean that I skip the gym. It doesn't mean that I eat McDonald's. It doesn't mean that I'm going to just go down on myself. It just means that, you know what? I'm going to go through the motions. I'm going to do what I can. I'm going to do my non-negotiables. I still jumped in my ice barrel. I'm still going to eat my 3 meals. I'm going to make sure I go to bed on time. But at the end of the day, I may not be able to do the extra stuff today. And that's fine. I have tomorrow. What's today? Friday, Thursday. I have Saturday. I have Sunday. When you need to, move stuff around. If you have something on your calendar today that I just can't get to it today, move it around, but move it around with intention. Make sure you actually get to it, okay? Build a positive routine. So write down 3 positive things that happened to you today. This is something that I try and think about at the end of the day. I don't write them down, but I think about them. And then I want you to encourage you to share them in the Facebook group, share them in the Savage Squad, and then talk about them openly. Like at the end of the day, being able to pay attention to what is happening to you will help you to become a better version of yourself, because now you get to realize, like, I am looking at things differently. The things that happen to me that are negative in my mind and they bother me, or this or that, or you complain about this, or I got paid late, or the bill was due, or I got cut off in traffic. I don't care when somebody cuts me off in traffic. Who cares? You're going to let somebody in another car that you don't know, doesn't know you, and he's already driven off or she's already driven off, flicking you off, whatever. You're going to let that stranger upset you, get your stomach all in a bunch, get your blood pressure up? Cares? Who cares? It's not worth it, because you know what? You have to protect your positivity. They don't matter. It says more about them than it says about you. I promise you that. And that's it for today. We're done with the slides. Stop the share. So what was your biggest takeaway from this? You guys can either take yourselves off mute and share what your biggest takeaway was, or you can go ahead and volunteer, and I'll call you out if you don't.
Positivity is key. No matter what we deal with or what we face, there's a positive way to handle it. There's a positive way to look at it and to move through it. You can turn any negative situation into a positive situation, and I love that.
I like that. It's true. You have to think of it that way. You really do. Anybody else?
I'll go. Just more so, positivity has a greater effect than negativity. Like, I feel like positivity goes a long way rather than negativity.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Probably taking myself out of all those negative sites on Facebook that just control your news feed and your algorithm.
Yeah.
I block a whole bunch of things. I am like, nope, I'm not going to be a part of it, because it just ruins my attitude and day. So I get it.
Yeah. So you're protecting your mindset. I've stopped reading all the comments on my posts.
That takes some strain.
Yeah.
I'm in a Marine Facebook group. I think Eric might be in there. Shane, I know you are. Shane, I think Shane's laughing because Shane knows exactly what I'm talking about, because I think the first interaction that Shane had with me. Do you remember what post it was, Shane?
It was you calling me out. I'd said something crazy like,
it wasn't about no. That was
your heart
after.
hurts, take
The Motrin and water.
Motrin.
Yeah. No, but you initially followed me from a post I put in the Marines group. I think it was.
You're right. I
remember what it
forget,
was,
because I'm on more than one of them.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was, but everybody was very upset about it. But it spoke to you, and it did something positive. What about it? I can't be an army chat group.
No. I said, how about we come up with an army chat group?
You mean just for the soldiers in the group? No, we're not going to separate. We're not doing branches here, Carlos.
But there can be a Marine one. Okay.
No. You're missing what I'm saying.
This is a family group. We're not allowed to.
Carlos, I was on Facebook.
Yeah.
I am in a Marine Corps group that has nothing to do with this. And in that group, there's, I think, 45 or 150,000 members, and I posted
like-
something on there. But that has nothing to do with this.
Oh.
We don't. There's no separate group. I promise you.
No,
Okay.
yeah, not related at
Yeah, yeah.
all. Like, you know,
Yeah.
like Marine
anyway,
Corps, like memes, like blah blah.
point-
U.S. veterans, blah blah blah.
Yeah. The point of that is to say that like I stopped reading comments because I realized that it was bringing me nowhere. And the people that need to read the message, like you, Shane, the people that saw it and that it spoke to them, here we are. I don't need to interact with everyone. I don't have to reply to everybody. Not everyone deserves my attention or my reply. And Eric, I owe you a reply from something that you commented on about a week ago that I just saw the other day, but I'll reply to you.
Yeah. So I wanted to share something about thinking about things positively, even if they weren't.
Yeah.
By mid 2022, I had gone through an unexpected divorce. I was finishing up a job that I'd bid in May of 21, and I bid it for about 3 or 4 weeks, and it took me a year. And it was one of those where change orders were a daily occurrence and whatnot. I had about $5,000 into the job out of my own savings account by the time it was done because I'd screwed things up that bad. A couple months later, a customer stiffed me out of about $2,000, which was my entire management fee for that particular job. But when I think back to 2022, I actually see it as a good year, not as all these terrible things that happened all just slam bam, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's because there was a lot of things that I guess I did that were firsts. I joined the military right from my parents' house. I joined the military, lived with a bunch of dudes in a regular animal house between the Navy and the Marine Corps, and then joined the Marine Corps. I was married by the time I got out, and then I'd never rented a place by myself. I'd never done a lot of things that most people by 37 years old had done.
Yeah.
Right. And so there was a lot of firsts. There was a lot of learning that year that was actually incredibly beneficial. It made me a lot more confident that I could navigate the world on my own. Not that I wanted to, right? But that I could. And I think those lessons ended up making that year as much negativity as was there. I didn't realize it at the time because I was under just a ton of pressure, right? It was just stress 24 hours a day. But I realized looking back, I actually took that year on with kind of Jocko's mentality of seeing all this crap and saying, good. You know, now I do it consciously. Now when stuff starts to fall apart, you know, a customer gets to be a pain in the butt, things that every single homeowner complains about, you know, it's the same one, no matter how well you do it, they complain about it. You know it, you see it coming. But it's like, you know, I see that coming. I'm like, good, let's do it. You know, not let's get combative, but let's see how we can maybe streamline this process, make it better for the customer, make it easier for me.
Love that. That's freaking awesome, man. So like, no matter what happens, like you always think of it of like, what can I do to create something positive from this? Like something happens and like, maybe it gives you opportunity to really like show up and create another opportunity for yourself. Maybe another like, you know, job, right?
I definitely try. I also wanted to make a note that I realize they're probably blue light blockers, but you got some sweet Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas glasses going on tonight. So I just figured I'd comment on that too.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I've been behind a computer most of the day, so I was trying to limit my computer time for the rest of the evening because I want to go to bed on time tonight. So that's one thing that I do. But I appreciate it, man. Thank you. So we're gonna wrap up tonight. Melinda, thank you for being here. I know it's for your first time. Rob, thank you for being here. I know it was your first time. Shane, you've been with us for a little bit. Carlos, I love seeing you here. Thank you for actually being present. Who is iPhone? Who's down there in the middle? We got Tashi, we got Savannah, we got who's iPhone?
They came on camera.
I'm gonna guess that it's who was it then? Anybody know? I'm gonna bet that it's Andy. He's having trouble with the camera. Just flip the phone around. All right, it's not a big deal. All right, I didn't even call you out. Whoever iPhone is, I didn't even call you out. Look,
It's
guys.
Lisa, it's me.
Lisa, I love seeing you here, Lisa. Thank you. Okay.
It's
Good to
okay.
know, Lisa.
Technology makes me feel old too.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, at least I'm happy you're here. Savannah and Steven are with us getting
Okay.
after it. You guys have your kiddo with you, Steven?
Yeah, yeah, you're in my AirPod. Yeah, she's coming
Nice.
to over here. Yeah, see, she's working out with us.
Look at that. That is beautiful. I love seeing
Yeah,
that.
so
Yeah, your kids watch you. They do what you do. It's not about what you tell them. It's about
they
what you
all
do.
enjoy the gym. There's a
Love that.
child care here, and they've got like little weight sets in there for them. And
That's awesome. Well, we're gonna wrap up tonight. I'm happy to hear that. We're gonna wrap up, and the only thought that I want to give you is spend this week and really pay attention. And when something happens to you, like really realize, what are you gonna do about it? How are you gonna respond? Are you going to allow it to bring you down and ruin your day and make you miss the gym and make you eat some fast food instead of doing what you know you're supposed to do? Or are you going to actually think about it and be like, this is an opportunity for me to freaking show up for myself? Like, we're all looking for the cheese, right? But we have this cat behind us. We're a mouse in this analogy, by the way. And sometimes it's not about looking for the cheese. Like, you can't always find something good in life to go after. Sometimes you need the bad behind you to help remind you of like why you need to run a little bit faster. So when something happens to you in this week, it is an opportunity. Like Eric says, good, that Jocko says. It's an opportunity for you to show up for yourself and really decide how you are going to respond. Now, when something happens like that this week, I want you to take a moment, either journal about it or do a post in the group or go ahead and share in the Savage chat and memorialize it. Because when you memorialize it, when you write it down, when you take the time to actually put it on paper or put it on whatever, chat group, whatever, like you remember why you were able to do something differently this time. And it matters because then you learn from it. You're not failing. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. You guys have a great rest of your night. No check-ins this weekend. Everyone got their check-ins already. If you've been started, if you haven't watched it, make sure you watch it. And yeah, you guys have a great rest of your night. Melinda, Rob, I'm looking forward to talking with you guys on Sunday. Shane, Lisa, Savannah, you guys will have your first check-in 1 week from now. So on Saturday the 17th, I believe it's 17th. All right, guys, you guys have a great rest of your night.
Later.
Good night,
Good
coach.
night, everybody.
good night.